back to Flying Wrench Garage, working on the Trike, and I had a whole intro already recorded, and somehow I ended up losing all of it. Thought I had downloaded it, and when it did, it cleared the card on the camera. And when I went in to GoPro, the footage wasn't there, so we lost a bunch. I did a complete inspection, had it up on jack stands, and I had discovered that the left inner CV boot was torn. It had slung all the grease out, so I pulled the axle out and I inspected it, and the joint was still in good shape. So the only thing we needed to do there was replace the CV boot. And then upon pulling that apart, the lower, or actually both control arm bushings, the uppers and the lowers, were in pretty bad shape, so I went ahead and replaced those. Went through and made a list of things that need to do, and it's a pretty good size list. We're still waiting on parts to arrive. I bought some used on eBay, and one of them was actually in worse shape than the one on the bike. That would have been the fairing stay. So they're letting me go ahead and return that, and I ordered a new one from Kawasaki. Figured if I'm getting a used one, I'm probably getting one that's damaged anyway. So while we're waiting on that to come in, there's a bunch of little things that we can work on here and there. One of them is we're going to put a hitch on. I ordered that from Champion Trikes of Arizona, and that's also where I got the control arm bushings. I did get a good used front fender for it, and I bought this off of eBay. This is off of a 2020 Vaquero, which in 2020 they used the same color blue as the 2011 Voyagers. It has some different graphics on the side of it, but it actually matches the silver pretty well. The bottom of it does have quite a bit of rust. I'm going to hit that with a Scotch-Brite on a die grinder, and I've got some rubberized undercoating that I'm going to put on that. So we'll get work on putting this together. Old boot off here, we're going to have to cut this clamp here, and this joint is going to have to come off. You see there's a snap ring right here, and we're going to take our snap ring pliers, get them in the clip right here, take that off, set that aside so we don't lose it, and then the joint comes right off. The joint's still in real good shape, still got plenty of grease in it. I do have a little bit of dirt in here. I'm going to clean this out with some brake clean when I put the new grease in and everything. Make sure that there's no contaminants in there, because I did have it sitting on the garage floor for a little bit. Now that we got this joint off, we'll cut this clamp, get this old boot off, we'll clean this shaft up real good, and then start putting the coming. Keep the wife's car inside here where it's hopefully not going to get damaged in the hailstorm or winds or whatnot. Now the shaft has a groove right here. This is where the new boot is going to sit in here. We're going to get the clamp around here, and that'll help seal it on. There's the old boot. Now it's not going to matter that we're cleaning the grease off, because the new boot comes with all new grease to go in there. So we just want to get it cleaned up for us to be able to work on it easier. Here we got our new boot. I did buy this the closest size to the original one that I could measure, so it is probably going to be a little bit tighter, but I figure that's okay, because I'd rather have it tighter than looser, so that way we know that it gets a good seal on there. So we get the boot on, we'll put the clamp here, we'll slide the joint in here, fill it with grease, and we'll be good to put that back in. Well, there you have it. Got the boot on there, got it all filled up with grease. Got both the clamps on there. There's an adapter right there. This is for a tri-lobal joint. What that means is, rather than this joint being round, it's got these divots in here. So there's a rubber adapter that goes in and fills the gap in between these divots. And of course, I got to clean this up yet. Still got a little bit of grease pressing out just from putting the joint together. But it's not an exact match to the old joint, but it does fit here and here. I believe it clamps good and will hold the grease in. Once I clean this up, I'll be able to make sure that it's not leaking once it's back on the bike and running down the road. I want to make sure that doesn't sling anywhere, and then I think that it's leaking and that. So we're going to get this put back in and change the lower control arm bushings as we put it back together, and that should be everything as far as the suspension and the driveline that we needed to take care of. Got a ground wire here for the trailer wiring, missing an end on it. My guess is that they had them up here where the hitch mounts, and it when they took the hitch off, they disconnected it and just left it hanging down. So we'll put a new ring terminal on that. When we bolt it up, we can hook that back up and we'll have trailer lights. There we go. I get to mark that off of our list here. Take out this trailer hitch. And these are parts that I needed to buy, so I got that. I'll leave the trailer harness on here just so I remember to go back and do that again. While we're waiting on parts, we might as well get some of the preventive maintenance done. We're going to get the oil changed, and y'all have seen oil changes for the most part, so we'll just go to high-speed action with this one. One thing I did want to point out on these bikes is they do have 2 oil drain plugs, and I'll show those to you so that you know where they are. Alright, this is the first oil drain plug right here. This is the rear one, and then this is the front one here. So there are 2 of them, and when we drop these, I do have 2 of the Kawasaki aluminum crush gaskets to go on here. I don't know when the last time they were changed. I don't want to put new oil in and have them start dripping oil and it runs all over the floor. So I'm just going to go ahead and change them. And then our oil filter is right there. Ooh, it's got a Wix. Anyway, we'll get at that. This is the aluminum drain plug gasket that I was talking about here. It's a Kawasaki part number. And it's just a aluminum crush gasket. I replace these every couple oil changes. One drain plug doesn't have the gasket on it. There should be one on each drain plug. So I'm going to double check the oil pan to make sure it didn't fall in there. And if I don't find it in the oil pan, I want to check the drain hole, make sure that the gasket isn't up there, because if you have 2 gaskets together, it's going to leak. So we're going to want to check that. This is the other drain plug, and it has a gasket on it, and it's crushed down over the plug a little bit, so I might have to get a pair of pliers or a screwdriver and pop that off there, but it'll come right off. When those crush down, sometimes they'll crush down around the head of the bolt pretty tight, and you just gotta get in there with a small screwdriver and work it down and get it off there. This one was actually smashed down enough that you can see the head of the bolt embedded down into it, the head of the plug embedded down into the aluminum gasket. So I'm thinking that this one was probably leaking, so they double stacked it. We're going to change both of these. Now, like I said, the other plug didn't have a gasket on it. Here's what a new one looks like. Now you don't really have to crank down on these real hard. Just get it nice and snug. Let that gasket do its thing. Right here is where we're going to start the age-old argument. What kind of oil do you use in your bike? Oh, I only use this, or I only use that. Use Shell Rotella T6. It's a full synthetic oil, and it meets the JZO MA2 rating that's required for these bikes. Been running it for years, don't have any problem with it. It's 1540. The temperature range for oil for my area is 1040 to 2050. I figured this is right in the middle. It's been fine for me. We're going to end up dumping about 5 quarts into it. This is a gallon jug. Put the whole thing in. And we're going to start it up, let it run, check for leaks. Let it get up to operating temperature. And then we'll check it and top it off any more than that. It's probably going to take about 5 quarts. Drink up, little buddy. My theory on it too is if it's good enough for my big truck, it's good enough for this. It's a $50,000 engine in that truck, so I think it'll be fine. Now we're going to let it run, get up to operating temperature. Oil light went out. Check for leaks. No leaks, we're good. We'll let that warm up. Ah, crap. Front fender's dry to the touch with the rubberized undercoating. I'm going to put another coat on here and let it dry. Then we can get this put on. That looks nice. Now we'll check the oil. Now this bike, you're supposed to screw the oil cap all the way back down in order to check it. You don't just set it on top. Looks like we got to add about 3/4 of a quart to get it up to the full line. Do just a hair too much. We'll be all right. Let that drain back down in there for a minute. Just a hair over full. Perfect. Check the air filter now. Wow, somebody really cranked down on them. Forgot about that one. Pretty dirty. Yeah, it's not a K&N. quarter K&N filter for it. Hey, put our front camera mount on here. Well, I can do videos, action videos. Actually, planning some pretty nice trips. Been all over the country. Semi-truck. The thing about semi-truck is you never really see anything. You drive by at 70 miles an hour because you're on a deadline. So I'm planning some nice rides, and really excited about them, and I'm excited to share them with everyone. Move it around anywhere we want it. Yeah, we'll just put it back like this for now. Well, I think that's all we're going to do for today. Just a little bit of odds and ends, a little bit of maintenance here and there. Till we get some big parts in. It's mostly what the videos are going to be here for a little bit. Once we start getting the bigger body parts, then we'll really make some progress. Till then, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell. It's somewhere right up here to get notifications. Noisy. Doesn't cost you anything. It helps me out. So hit the button, subscribe. Till next time, we'll see ya, Flying Ranch Garage.